Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah and this is B.fleye Beauty, and today I wanted to go over some of my New Year's goals, resolutions, aims. I don't know. Do you guys do resolutions? I've always done them a little differently. Not always, that's a lie. Probably the past 10 years. So one of the first things when I switched over was it's more about like how do I want to feel that year? So I would pick a word of the year, and then I would also do like 3 to 5 words representing how I want to feel. And then what that does is that shapes your action. So if I want to feel free every day, when I decide, do I want to do this or that, which one of those makes me feel more free, right? So that's kind of that idea. I decided not to go that direction this year, but just to do a one word, that foundational, thing. So it's similar, but instead of doing words about how I want to feel, this kind of encompasses everything. The past few years, I've also been doing something related to the Happier podcast. And what they do is they pick actual things that they want to do to accomplish. It could be fun things, it could be goals, it's basically anything. And I think I've done it the last 2 or 3 years through, YouTube videos. And that's depends on the year. So like last year was 2021, it would be 21 in 21. So I made a list of 21 things like get a will made, which I didn't do yet. So that's an actual action thing that I could accomplish, right? It's not like lose 30 pounds, right? A little different. And I will go back and look at if I actually completed them. But this year, I just wanted to focus on a few things. And my word of the year is actually boundary. And where that comes from for me is creating boundaries where I would have never had them before. For instance, with my dad. I've been working really, really hard on being honest with him and being authentically myself. Wrote him a letter this year. Anyway, that's a really big deal, right? So that's an example of a boundary. But in the other direction, it's breaking down boundaries. I've had some boundaries up for myself that don't need to exist, and like, what do those look like for myself? So I wanted to go through a little bit of that with you guys. And then I do have a few goals for the year in little categories. So like in every area of my life, what did I want to focus on? And it's not necessarily something I have to accomplish this year, but it's just the focus starting this year. So like I said, my word of the year is boundary, and that really is an umbrella word. It's what I want to use. I'm kind of mixing a word of the year and how I want to feel together. So when I make a decision, is that tearing down a boundary that I need to tear down, or am I building up a boundary that needs to be there? And that means that I might have to be brave in a way that I wouldn't want to be brave. Or feel more free, or be more confident in an area to tear down that boundary. So it kind of encompasses a lot of different things, a lot of different feelings, and a lot of different goals. But I think it's a really great word for me. It sounds really simple, but it means a lot. So some of the work that I want to do this year for myself regarding health is, so that's kind of the first category, is not necessarily lose weight. I mean, we all want to do that for the most part, right? Like that's always a resolution. But for me, it's to work on my nervous system. I feel like it's been shot. Last year was or I would say the last year-ish, was the second year of my mom, or my second year without my mom, and it happened to be a worse year. And with COVID stuff and school / my work environment has been really, really bad. So my body is really sensitive. If you've been with me at all, or you know me at all, know that my body can be really sensitive, and that is actually a good thing. So I've done some coaching with Sarah Jinks, and she's transformed a lot and molded her work into other things. But a while back, she did a program called Live More, Weigh Less. And I learned that my body being sensitive to gaining weight, to losing sleep and all that, is a blessing and a curse, right? I have the opportunity to find out if there's something going on with my body because my body tells me, and not everyone has that luxury. So I'm trying to look at it like that, and I know that something is wrong. So my nervous system is shot. I'm not sleeping. I'm having small panic attacks at work, which I haven't had those in over a decade. So that is my focus for the year, is figuring out my nervous system. And I have a couple plans, have a couple things in the works. I want to start kind of experimenting with something, and also I might be going back on medication. I'm not really sure. So I'm playing around with different things for sleep, definitely drinking more water, getting back into routines. Along with that health thing is building up the strength in my knee. If you don't know, I hurt my knee at almost the beginning of last year and was not able to do a lot of workouts that I really, really love. And so that's part of my goal this year, is just strengthening around that knee, strengthening around my back and my hips. And to do that, I bought a little home gym situation. I think it's called Zeno Gym. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. And I think Freddie wants to do some as well. He's getting knee surgery soon, like next week. And we're very excited to kind of build up some more muscle and strength to kind of protect some of our injuries for the future. So I'm looking at that as, yes, it will change my body, which is something I do want, but it's really about an overall health and strength, kind of like the nervous system, right? So my goal is to build a base of health so that all the other things I want to do are not hurtful and harmful, and they are pushing me forward in the other things that I would like for my health. But this is more of a base level goal that I have. So nervous system, building up more muscle, building a strong base. So in the next area was more of a spiritual practice. And in this, I wanted to bring back, it's not like I'm not doing this, I'm not doing it on a consistent basis. So I'm definitely wanting to bring back the consistency in my spiritual practice. So being consistent, going to church. I think COVID gave us the luxury of doing a lot of things from home, and I am thankful for that, and I'm thankful for technology. But I think I need to get my butt there in person more often, and it's a lot easier for me to stay home for a couple of reasons that I have in my own head, and I need to go against those. So being consistent at church, being consistent, it's going to sound weird as a spiritual practice, but stretching, meditating, prayer. I had this routine where I would stretch at night, along with like my bath situation, and use that as a prayer meditation time. And that was amazing. And I kind of stopped doing that. And both of those things were great for me, right? It was great at relaxing my body, releasing icky stuff, right? By praying and asking God for help with those things, but also stretching, and that the health benefits of that for my actual body, my physical body. So I've talked about this recently. I've talked about it quite a bit, but mind, body, spirit is all connected. And that really works for me, is praying and meditating while I stretch. So I want to bring that back into my nightly routine. Again, it's not that I don't do it, but I'm not really consistent. So definitely adding that back in, trying to stay, into my drinking water and flushing all that stuff out. That's one of the hardest things for me. I don't understand why, but it is. Weirdly enough, I've been so freaking thirsty that I've just been chugging water lately, so I hope that stays. And then I have two more. One is career path. So if you don't know, I am transitioning out of teaching into real estate, and a lot of reasons that is scary, and I can do a video on that if you guys are interested. But I just want to be full force committed. When I'm scared of something, I don't always jump in full force. So that's something that I want to commit to this year. I'm committing to at least 3 years to see how it goes. And when I'm in class, I'm so freaking pumped. So I know it's the right thing, but because it is scary, because there's a lot of fear and anxiety behind it, because it's such a big change for me, I tend to pull away from the things I might need to do for that career path. So my goal is to just stick with that, go in full force, and really dedicate myself to that this year, getting my license, finishing everything up, and just learning from my mentor and just taking it all in. And then lastly is the area of relationships. And with my friendships, my goal is just to reach out more, right? Reaching out doesn't have to be planning a date every week with all these different friends, but reaching out. Like, recently I found out that a couple of friends of mine are moving away, and I'm so devastated, and they live down the street now from where we just moved. And I'm like, why am I not taking advantage of this? And just remembering that we can't always know when someone's gonna leave or be there or whatever. And so reaching out when I think of them, because I think of people all the time and I don't reach out like I should. So that's something that I want to change. Something very easy to do. It takes 30 seconds out of my day. So not just thinking in my head, but actually reaching out to that person, say, hey man, just want to let you know I love you, thinking about you, hope you're having a great day. And then with my romantic relationship, it's just continuing to work on our communication. That is not something we do well. I am not perfect. I do feel like I'm a good communicator, but I have a lot to work on. And I'm back consistently in therapy, which is going to help, and having that open line of communication, I guess. I'm so sensitive and I just cry all the time, and it's hard for me to have conversations because of that. So I feel like I always want to have a deep conversation with someone, and I'm really good at it, but sometimes my emotions get the best of me. So really working on open communication with my partner, which is Freddie. I'm hoping we can get him to do like makeup on me this spring. So, you know, bug him if you know him. So yeah, so in review, word of the year is boundary, over encompassing thing. I want to work on my nervous system, right? That's my health goal overall. Along with that is just really working on my muscle and my strength, and getting that back. So that's my health. My spiritual stuff is just being more consistent with church, and my nightly practice. My morning practice is really great. Like my morning routine is great. But consistency for me is key. And then career is just committing to the career path, and not getting so scared that I don't do anything. And then relationships is actually reaching out to communicate. So I guess, let's see, overall would be, under boundary would be consistency, dedication, communication, and strength. So there are some words under there under boundary. So maybe I should write those down as well next to that to kind of keep my focus. I also need to make a will. What's the one thing that you've been saying you want to do like all the time? Like every year you say you're going to do it and you haven't done it. Somebody needs to be my accountability partner for making a will, because I will tell you that I am really good at doing things if I say I'm going to do them. And this is the one, like not needing an accountability partner. Like I am an upholder. I do things. If I say I'm going to do it, I do it. I don't need anybody to back me up. For some reason in this area, I need someone to back me up. So let me know if you can help me with that. Let me know down below if you do a word of the year. How do you do resolutions, or do you just not care? I know this year, the past 2 years have been kind of crappy, and at this point, I just want to exist and you know, not want to crawl into a hole. So maybe that should be my overall goal. Anyway, let me know down below what you got, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.